Welcome back to Black and Blue Garage. Last weekend I rolled my truck out of the shop so that I could insulate this back wall and put up some industrial shelves just so that I could get my shop cleaned up a little bit. But because I did that, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble rolling that thing back into the garage. So today my project is to take a 2,500 pound Badlands winch and mount it to the back of the shop. That way I can pull things in and out with ease and not have to push or use a come along and all this craziness of ingenuity to get vehicles in and out of my shop. So this is the exact same winch that I put for my rear suck down winch, and it did such a good job making my truck into a lowrider. And since it's rated for 2,500 pounds, I think this will be a good candidate for a shop winch. It comes with a manual, it comes with a control box and a fuse holder, and it comes with a remote, which will be handy for when I'm outside and I need to steer a vehicle and operate the winch at the same time. It comes with their Harbor Freight hardwired. I believe all their winch cables are the same. So if you have multiple small winches and big winches, you can save these as extras. Of course, it comes with a strap, and I believe this is for safety. You could put this on your hook and hold on to this while you're winching back in so you don't pinch your fingers. A little bag of hardware to mount your winch to, whatever you're planning on mounting your winch to. Comes with a tiny little hook, comes with a tiny little shackle, and it comes with the most adorable little fairlead. Now, it's important to note that if you're gonna mount one of these winches to anything at all, and you don't want to drill a bunch of holes and fabricate a plate, you're gonna have to pick up one of these Harbor Freight ATV winch mounting plates, because this is what holds your fairlead to the front and mounts the winch and the fairlead together. I can't just mount this to the floor in the back of the shop just because of the way the winch mounts to it. There would be only two places to mount this to the floor, and also the bolts that go through this winch plate would stick out on the bottom, and so you wouldn't have a flat surface to lay right down on the floor. So I found this plate. This is about 3/8 inches thick. It already had some holes drilled in it so that I could just bolt this to the floor once I put these two pieces together. I think I'm gonna drill 2 holes in this plate so that I can mount this to here. The bolts will be flush with the bottom, and then I can flip this over, bolt it right to the floor. Now, in order to mount this to the floor, I'm gonna have to drill into the concrete, and for that I bought a drill bit that will go for a regular chuck. It works the best if you have a hammer drill. I have just a regular drill, but it does have a hammer function. So even though it may take me longer, I'm hoping that this works and I can get some holes drilled. And those holes will be for this here. I've got 4 of these 1/2 inch concrete anchor bolts made by a company called Cobra. You can pick these up from Home Depot, and what they're for is they've got a little locking collar. So you would drill your hole, you pound these into the hole, and as you tighten it, it spreads the collar out on the bottom, and then it makes for a really strong connection to the floor. Now, the reason that I went with these is because of what it says right here. So if you're pulling away from the floor like this, it's going to give you 1,654 pounds before it pulls itself out of the floor or breaks the concrete, and 715 pounds pulling it to the side. I guess that's when this bolt would snap in half or something. But that's with 3,000 PSI concrete. So 750 is 1,500 for 3,000. 3,000 pounds of pulling force in this direction. And if I'm pulling something into the shop that's putting 3,000 pounds of pressure on the winch, then I should probably not be pulling it into this shop. So next up is I'm gonna draw some lines and do some grinding and drill some holes, and we'll get this plate and this plate put together. This is not a hammer drill, but it does have a hammer function for getting fasteners into wood easier. I'm gonna see if this works. If not, I'm gonna have to go buy or rent a hammer drill that can actually do this work. Are you not entertained? Oh yeah, thanks for watching. See you next week. It's 100% not perfect.